Well, welcome to Feel Resilient. Who to trust with your health, your liberty, your sustainability, and your spirituality. It's my real pleasure to introduce you to my friend Teresa McCloy of the Real Life Process. Teresa is going to help us to understand first of all, what matters, and then to do what matters. And there's something that maybe like you've struggled like I have. And that is, first of all, to know what matters and then to focus deep into doing what matters. And I don't think it's possible to feel resilient, right? Really a deep down resilience that you can move forward regardless of the storms of your life, unless you have a deep understanding of knowing what matters and then to focus on those things, doing those things that matter. So I certainly hope you enjoy our discussions on Feel Resilient.
Good day and welcome again to the Feel Resilient show. And it's my pleasure once again to introduce my friend Teresa McCloy from the Real Life Process. Good day, Teresa.
Hey,
good
Steve.
To see you.
Great to be back with you for another session.
Yes. And to review, Feel Resilient, we're looking at helping people feel more resilient, body, soul, and spirit. And then, of course, who to trust with your liberty, your health, your sustainability, and your spirituality. So Teresa is one of the people that I trust with my life, trust her information, and trust her heart and her motivations for people. And so this is one of the reasons why I'm bringing Teresa to you and exposing you to her work. And purpose of us getting together is literally walk me through so I can get a life.
Or let's put it this way, a life plan, Steve, not a life. You have a life.
Yeah.
We're going to make a little bit more of a plan and a purpose for that life.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. So yeah, I'm meeting with Teresa so I can get a life. And I said, no, I'm meeting with Teresa so I get a real life. There you go.
A real life plan is what we're going to put together.
So last video, we talked about some of the four major components of the real life process. And do you want to, first question I have for us today is, as you've been reflecting on your real life process, and then of course, working me through and coaching me through this, so I get a real life, and those people who are following us, right, then of course they can walk through this process with us. How would you summarize this idea of a real life process and how it helps people to feel more resilient to the stresses and challenges of our day? I mean,
yeah, that's a great question. I think so much of the ability to feel that resilience comes from and this is a word I use a lot, what can I pre-decide? What can I decide now that will be a decision that I don't have to make later because I've already planned out how would I approach that situation?
Okay.
For example, if I can decide that these are the big rocks, that's what we're going to talk about today. These are the things that matter in my life. These are the buckets, the rocks, whatever you want to call them, that are foundational for me. Then that's going to help me when I come to look later on at what I put on my calendar, because if it doesn't align with one of my buckets or one of my rocks, then why am I doing it?
Okay.
And so I've pre-decided what matters to me. That gives me more energy in the moment. It is scientifically proven in our brains that we only have the energy every day to make so many decisions. It's why we choose ice cream at night instead of the carrots that are sitting in the bowl in the refrigerator, right?
Okay.
It's why we crave certain things later in the day, or because the stress level has risen in our brain because we've decided and we've decided and we've decided. And it's why we need rest at night before we got on the call. You know, you were saying, I went away for the weekend.
Yeah.
And then I ended up sleeping quite a bit.
Yeah.
Your body was telling you that you needed that.
Right.
The exhaustion settles in when those decisions. So part of the real life process is helping you. And I'm going to share my screen here because I think this will help too, to give it some frame, is to help us create a rule of life. Now, for my process, we define a rule of life. These are the rules I'm going to live by. I've pre-decided that this is the way I want to live my life. And rule doesn't have to be, it's actually an ancient saying from, some spiritual practices of creating a rule of life, but it's a commitment that I'm going to live my life in a certain pattern, rhythm, and behavior. It's crafted, if you're someone that's coming from a faith perspective, it's crafted through discernment. I'm going to sit down and I'm going to check in a spiritual way with God as I consider the way he put values on me, put things on my heart. Once I've done that, now I have those pre-decisions. I can be resilient because I'm not having to go back all the time and second guess myself. Is that what I really want to do? That's wasting of energy that you could be using in a different way. So now it's a tool and a framework that helps me decide how to order and align my days. So it's going from the deeper things of what really matters to me back to the things of, well, I'm going to put that in my calendar because it's time with my family and my family matters to me. Or I'm going to put that in my calendar because it's about generosity, and generosity matters to me. So of course I'm going to do that, or this is about my extended family and they matter to me, my parents or my grandparents or my siblings or whatever it might be. So we're going to schedule that family vacation once a year with all the people because they all matter. And so it helps us go, yeah, that matters. I can easily, without too much energy or stress, say yes. I think that builds resilience because, and I would ask a question back to you. How do you define resilience?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I hope you've enjoyed my discussion with Teresa McCloy from the Real Life Process, helping you understand what really matters, and then, of course, doing what matters. And I personally don't think that you can move forward effectively and really feeling resilient unless you know what matters to you, and then you focus on doing what matters to you. So again, trust that you've enjoyed that conversation and look forward to you seeing many more of these conversations going forward as we build out for you under the umbrella of feel resilient, this idea of really understanding and doing what matters. See you on the next video.